Let's take a look at the chart action for Uniswap. Alright, so we've been looking at the Fibonacci retracement levels on pretty much all the charts. And basically I just watch all of them. I've been putting limit orders on the 32, 50, 61, and even the 78. Check it out what's been going on. Alright, so we came down, hit the 50% level, got a bounce on that a couple times, came up to the red line, got a bounce down and hit the 78% level. So basically I've just been filling limit orders. When we come up and start trending back down, I'll take profits and I'll set up my limit orders again. Like I've been talking about, the main thing I'm watching is this resistance. We have resistance right there, and resistance right there. Let's do a trend line going to the downside, something like this. And as you can see, it looks like we're coming up and testing that trend line right now. So let's see if we break through it or if we get rejected, like we've been getting rejected every time we come into it like that. So we're gonna have to wait and see if we break up or if we get rejected. So the other thing I'm looking at is we have support down here, and support down here pretty much. So if we do a trend line going something like this, it looks like we have some sort of falling wedge, not falling wedge, more like a falling channel pattern. I think if we could break above this trend line right there, we might be looking at a target from the top to the bottom of the channel, drag that to the breakout, and we're looking at a target of approximately 32.89 if we could break above this. And what I would really be looking at is mainly just targeting this previous resistance right there. Let's see if we could come up and hit that first, and then we can see if we could break out of this Fibonacci and get a higher high. A couple of things that we're going to want to watch is the volume. So it looks like the volume's like doesn't have as much steam. And the other thing I wanted to show you is, like I said, I put in my limit order right here, and we pretty much got a bounce since there. From the bottom to this right here to the top where we're at now is up 35%. So just within this little time frame right here, we've already gone up 35%, and the people who bought down here are up 35% basically. So if people start taking profits at 35% right here, it won't be super surprising. Let's see if we could break out of this and keep trending to the upside. Let's take a look at some other charts and see if we could get some other clues though. Alright, so if we jump over to Uniswap to Bitcoin, here's what I'm looking at. We have kind of like a flag pattern almost, maybe like a triangle pattern. Anyways, we got support on this line right here. Every time we're coming into this line, we're getting support and bouncing to the upside pretty much. So we're getting support on it, and then we have resistance, resistance, resistance. Every time we're hitting that line, we're going to the downside. So what I'm thinking is watching this triangle pattern for a break to the upside or to the downside. Right now, we just came off that bottom and we're bouncing off of that. So it looks like we're coming up to test that downtrend right now. I think if we could break through this, then we're going to see a big move on Uniswap, or it's going to give us more momentum and more reason to be bullish on it and have bullish targets. So I think if we did break out of this, maybe we could target from the top to the bottom of this triangle, something like that, drag that to the breakout, and we're looking at something like that. We could also be looking at a possible maybe head and shoulders. It's not perfect. I don't even really like to look at head and shoulders. I mean, I don't really like to use them as I'd rather use the triangle patterns. But either way, like I said, we'll be waiting for a break to the upside or to the downside. And I think if we break to the downside, we can maybe use the same target and maybe be targeting down here. I think until we break to the upside or to the downside, we're not going to be 100% sure. But we are coming up right now from the bottom to test the top trend line. So let's see if we could break through this in the next coming days. We're on the daily time frame, like I said right now. This might not even break right now, but in general, it looks like we have this triangle pattern, and it looks like it's getting tighter and tighter. I think we're going to want to keep an eye on this chart in general to see if we could break above this trend line and really keep our eyes on Uniswap. Basically, if this chart's going up, it's good for Uniswap, and if this chart's going down, it's good for Bitcoin. And right now, we got a nice little pump to the upside. If we go to the 4-hour time frame, we had a downtrend, something like this, and it looks like we broke above that trend line right there. And I think we're coming up to retest that bigger downtrend. So let's see what happens with this chart. I'd say keep an eye on it. Alright, let's jump over the total crypto market cap. If you guys like the video so far, hit that thumbs up button. Alright, so let's take a look. Like I've been talking about, we have our resistance, and our big downtrend, something like that. Until we break that downtrend going to the upside, then I'm pretty much just watching the Fibonacci retracement levels. And the Fibonacci retracement levels have been working out pretty good. We've been bouncing on that 38% level, we came down, have been bouncing on that 50% level, and now it looks like we're breaking out of this 38% level, and I think we're going to come up and retest this trend line right here in general in the big crypto market. I think let's go to the 1 hour time frame. I don't really like watching the 1 hour time frame, but it looks like we have a nice little move to the upside. Let's see if we can keep this momentum going. Let's go back to the 4 hour. In general, what I'm looking at is we have resistance right here, a little bit of resistance right there, and it looks like we're breaking out of this resistance right over here right now. What I'm kind of targeting now, if we could break out of this zone right here, is maybe target this zone next, this previous resistance level pretty much, sitting at around 2.03. Like I said, it does look like we have a nice little bit of momentum. We are above the 4 hour 9 moving average, which is a good sign. Let's see what the daily 9 moving average is looking like. It looks like we're right underneath the 9 moving average right now. Right underneath it, but it looks like we're testing it as well. I think if we could break above that, then we might be breaking this trend line here. But it'll be, I don't know, we just have to wait and see. It does look... Also, you can see we have the 180 moving average down here, and it looks like we're getting bounces on that as well. So yeah, like I said, I'm really watching this downtrend. It looks like we're getting support on that 50% level, which is good. That's the main one that I like to watch. I guess I kind of read up on it. I guess 50% isn't a Fibonacci level, but it is still used in this Fibonacci retracement, I guess. So yeah, someone corrected me on that, which is interesting. I didn't know that 50% is not part of it, but the other ones are. So yeah, 50% is holding support though, so it does look like it is significant. And then we had support on the 38. So let's keep an eye on this downtrend and see if we could break to the upside. Let's see if we could even come up and retest it right now. It does look like we're getting resistance on that 9 moving average right here. So here's another thing that I'm looking at, I guess, that I just saw pretty much. I think if we delete these trend lines, I was watching those uptrends and we broke both of them going to the downside, but we had resistance right here and resistance right here, and then we have support down here, support right here, and maybe support right here. So there's a couple of different things that we can maybe look at. We definitely have this, we had a resistance line, something like that, and we broke that going to the upside right here. Now it's just a matter of which one is the bottom. Is it right here, this kind of falling wedge pattern, which would give us a target maybe somewhere up here, like right around that trend line and at the previous resistance? Or are we looking at a bottom something like this? And I wouldn't really be completely sure where to target on this one. Maybe it'd be from the top to the bottom right there. There's a wick that came down right there, and maybe drag that to the breakout, something like that. That puts us at this 180 moving average. So yeah, for now, I would probably say we're if we could keep this momentum going to the upside, I would say let's target 2.04 trillion on the total crypto market cap. Alright, so a quick recap. Like I've said, I've been dollar cost averaging on the way down. Right now I'm watching this falling channel, something like this. I think if we break this downtrend going to the upside, we could maybe target from the top to the bottom of this channel, drag it to the breakout, and we're looking at a target of approximately 33.31. That's if we could break the trend line right now and keep this momentum going to the upside. Maybe even target the previous resistance around 31, 32, something like that. So yeah, I'll be watching this downtrend still, and it looks like the crypto market has a little bit of momentum going to the upside. So let's see if it happens, and check it out on the daily time frame. We had a lot of low momentum or a lot of low volume, and then we got this big green candle. Let's see if we could keep this volume going. I think we probably want to watch this on maybe the smaller time frames as well. The volume looks like it's declining on the 4 hours, so we might want to be keeping an eye on it. Like I said, we from the bottom to the top right here, that was a good 35% up. So we're going to have to wait and see if we could keep this momentum going, or if we need to cool off a little bit and then get that push to the next upside. All right, if you guys liked the video, hit that thumbs up.